Hello. What I wanted to do today is describe very quickly a circuit that uses a pair of NPN bipolar transistors, essentially as switches, to make a flashing LED circuit. So to start with, we will just have a collection of a few components. As I mentioned, we'll have a couple of discrete NPN general purpose transistors. We'll have two 100K resistors and two 220 ohm resistors, a couple general purpose light emitting diodes, and a couple 10 microfarad electrolytic capacitors. So we'll use these components and then a simple solderless breadboard to make this circuit. So to start with, we'll use the conventional solderless breadboard. And I'm showing these groups of 5 terminals in a row, and on these standard breadboards all of those are connected together in groups of 5. So this group of 5 is connected, this group of 5 is connected together but not to any of the other groups, and so forth. So we're going to put a jumper between the 5 on the left here and the 5 on the right for row 1. And we're also going to put a jumper wire between the 5 on the left and on the right here in row 11. So that's our starting point for the solderless breadboard. The couple rows in the middle here may or may not be on your breadboard, but I'm just showing them, and we won't be using them for this assembly, so I'm just showing them there as part of the completeness of that circuit. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is put in the 220 ohm resistors, the red, brown resistors. They don't have any polarity, so they can go in with the stripes in either order, but one leg will connect in the top row and the other leg will connect in row 6. And so we'll have the same configuration on the left and the right here. Then we'll connect the light emitting diodes, and the long leg, or the anode of the LED, will go in the top row, and the shorter leg will go in the row 7, the row below. And that's true on both sides here. Since the anode connection is in the same row as the resistor here, that's going to connect the resistor and the diode in series. So once those are installed, we can quickly attach the 9-volt battery to the top row and then alternately to the terminal on this LED and the terminal on that LED, just to check and make sure that they do light up. That'll confirm that they're in the right orientation. Okay, then we will move on and get the 100K resistors. They will connect from the top row with one leg down to row 9. So on both sides we've got those pair of resistors connected. Then we'll take the NPN transistors, and this is probably the most delicate part of this assembly. The legs on the resistor, on the transistor are a little bit sensitive. You don't want to snap them off, but if you very gently bend the top leg and the bottom leg and keep the middle leg where it belongs, and then orient the transistor so the flat side of the TO92 package is to the right, then you can carefully insert those legs into alternate rows on the solderless breadboard. So the lower leg, the emitter of the transistor, will go into the bottom row here, row 11. The base, the middle terminal, will go in row 9. And then the collector, the top terminal, will go up in row 7 so that it's connected to the LED. Finally, we'll put in the capacitors, and the capacitor, the electrolytic capacitor, has polarity to it, and so we need to be careful to put it in with the white negative stripe here to the right for the upper capacitor, and then the negative stripe to the left for the lower capacitor. So that will connect between the collector of one transistor and the base of the other, both crossing there. We don't want the metal legs of any of these components to touch each other, and so it may take a little bit of bending things around to make sure that they're connected to the terminal in the breadboard but aren't touching each other. Now we're ready to connect the power. So we'll take the 9-volt battery, and the plus leg, which is typically the red wire, will connect at the top row, and the black leg, the negative wire, will connect in row 11, and we should be seeing the LEDs alternately flashing. And if not, go back and check the circuit carefully, make sure everything is oriented correctly and all the pins are connected securely into the breadboard. And you can also experiment around by changing the resistance value for the 100K resistors. You can try some different values there to alter how fast the LEDs flash, because it's the timing of the current flowing in and out of these capacitors through those resistors that's controlling the rate at which the flashing occurs. Here is a circuit showing the schematic diagram where we have the LEDs and the 220 ohm resistors, the 100K resistors connected to each base of the transistors, and then the electrolytic 10 microfarad capacitors included also. And here's a photograph showing the setup that I did with this, with the two transistors, the capacitors, and then the resistors connected to the diode circuits.